In the next few videos, we're going to be talking about the angle. We're going to study the angle somewhat closely and thoroughly from the basic components out. We've already talked about how the angle is formed by two rays, in this case two line segments, because I didn't put arrow tips. Could be two rays, two line segments, or two lines, which we'll see in just a second. But anyway, that's an angle. It's characterized by having a vertex, and it has two legs formed of something. That's the angle. Now let's look at let's look at how an angle is named. So let's say the vertex here is B, that point is A, that point is C. And usually there are points labeled, and there's a naming mechanism for angles. This angle could have a few names. It could be called angle A, B, C, so it really kind of makes sense, A, B, C. It could also be called angle C, B, A. Doesn't matter the direction, as long as B is the vertex is the center of the angle. And there are also occasions, and this standalone angle would be one of them, where you could just simply say that's angle B, and someone would know you're talking about that angle specifically right there. Now, another way that angles can be formed is through the intersection of two lines. And this is of course naturally occurring phenomena, but it's also very straightforward when you look at it. I'm going to draw two lines. The two lines intersect at a point. They come together. Unless they're parallel, they're going to intersect at a point. And at the point of intersection, you see, obviously, that several angles are formed. There's one angle, two angles, three angles, four angles formed. And we'll talk more specifically about how that formation occurs and what's specific about them. But there are four angles here, and let's say we gave these the measurement, like this line was AB, and this line segment was labeled XZ, and then the center point, or the vertex of all the angles really, is labeled Y. Now the name of the angles becomes a little bit more specific. Angle Y won't work because it really represents all four of them, and when I'm communicating, I'm going to need someone to know which angle I'm talking about. So say I wanted to name this angle here, then I would have to say that is angle ZYB. By the way, that little symbol just means angle. Mathematicians are inherently lazy, I think, when it comes to writing. Most of us don't like to read and write that much, so take shortcuts and create symbols so we don't have to write the word angle every time. That means angle. Of course, I could also call it angle BYZ. Just to drive the point home, let's look at a different angle. Let's look at this one. So I'd have to give the name of that. Again, angle Y wouldn't work because all four of these, this one, this one, this one, this one, could all be given the name angle Y. So I have to be a little more specific. This is angle AYZ. Of course, I could go the other way and call it angle ZYB. Doesn't matter as long as that vertex, point where they come together, Y is in the center. And we'll look at this scenario a lot. Let's look at one more way that this can be named. And you will see it from time to time. It might also just simply say that this is angle 1, this is angle 2, this is angle 3, and this is angle 4. Well, in that case, they're already named. You don't need any mechanism. You can point to exactly what you're talking about. You'll see that as we get into problem solving using angles. Not that far.